Hi friends, as a part of our optics and refraction basis, we will discuss accommodation. What is accommodation? It's actually a wonderful feature of human eye by which we can see far and near objects without much difficulty. I am seeing you now, but I want to look to my watch and see the time. Yeah, I can see both you and watch within a fraction of seconds. That mechanism is achieved by accommodation. By a series of events, eye is getting that power. Okay, that is called accommodation. Or in words, accommodation is a mechanism by which the eye changes refractive power. Okay, refractive power by altering the shape of lens. I can't alter the shape of the cornea, so by altering the shape of lens in order to focus object at variable distance. Okay, and remember this is measured in diopter. Okay, so with that we will learn far point and near point. Okay, what is far point? Far point is the furthest distance, okay, which an object can be seen clearly. This is called far point or punctum remotum. Okay, punctum remotum, that is the furthest distance which an object can be seen clearly. And with maximum accommodation, the nearest point which the eye can see clearly is called near point or punctum proximum. Okay, so far point and near point, punctum remotum and punctum proximum. In emmetropia, the far point is infinity. It's actually in a Hoja jokes. Hoja used to say, I can see stars, so my eyesight is that much powerful like that. It's actually true. Our far point is actually infinity. And in hypermetropia, the far point is actually is virtual. It never the far point is focused on the retina. So it is actually, when we are tracking it back, it is a virtual point and it is behind retina. Okay. So hypermetropia, the far point is virtual and it is behind retina. One MCQ for you. And its myopia, the far point is real and it will be in front of the eye. It's not infinity, it will be in front of the eye. That's another MCQ. Okay. So far point and near point, punctum remotum and punctum proximum. Okay. So there is a range, that is the range of accommodation. The distance between far and near point is called range of accommodation. So we can see the far point and we will see the near point, and that range is called range of the accommodation. And I told you accommodation is actually measured in dioptric power. So the difference in focus or the difference in diopter power to focus for near and distant, that is called amplitude of the accommodation. Okay. You have range of accommodation and you have amplitude of accommodation. And the dioptric power of a resting eye or an eye used to look far without any accommodation, that is called static refraction. These all are terminologies which are very important for the MCQ questions. Okay, static refraction. And the dioptric power of an accommodated eye. Now I am looking my watch and there is an accommodation in act. Now the power is also different, and these power is called dynamic refraction. Okay, with that we will move to the most confusing and important part, the mechanism of accommodation. When I was a student, I found it very difficult to understand this. See, there are many theories for the mechanism of accommodation. The main thing is happening is the change of curvature of the lens, but how it is happening? My confusion was, see, when the ciliary body is contracting, the accommodation happening. So see, as you can see, this is the ciliary body. So when it is contracting, the lens is actually attaining a spherical shape. Okay. So the zonules are relaxing. I never got the concept. When the ciliary body is contracting, how the zonules are relaxing? According to my logic, when the ciliary body is contracting, the zonule should be tight, no? But then I found out the mistake, because ciliary body is not like this. This is just a 2D representation. Ciliary body is actually a circular structure. Okay, now you will get the concept. See, this is a circular structure. I will draw it once more. So there is a circular structure, and from that there are many zonules. At rest it is relaxed. The circular structure is relaxed and there is a lens. See, now it is relaxed. So the zonules are tight. So circular structure, when it is contracting, what is happening? It is like this. No? So when it is contracting, it will be like this. So the dimension is actually reduced. So what will happen? Now I can understand that the tensed zonules will be relaxing. See, when it is like this, when it is reducing the dimension, it will be like this, no? See, the tight zonules, when it is contracting, it's actually the dimension is reducing or the radius is reducing. So the tight zonules are become relaxed. So the lens is attaining its natural shape, which is globular. And when again the ciliary body is relaxing, the zonules are getting, it is going back to its original shape. So zonules are getting tighter. So it is pulling the lens. These are attaining more double convex shape, okay, rather than a spherical shape. And with this, there are several theories, and there are many pros and cons for each theory. We can just learn some, okay. And here, see, ciliary, this is actually the cross section. As I told, it is a circular structure, okay. So when the ciliary body is contracting, the tight zonules are, this is tight zonules, lens is green, and lens is like this. When it is relaxing, when the zonules are relaxing, the lens is attaining a globular structure because there is no tension of the zonules. Okay, all zonules are relaxing. That is Helmholtz theory. Helmholtz theory. Okay. Then another scientist told that, it is not like that. Actually, due to the peculiar arrangement of the fibers, central zonules is actually getting tensed when the ciliary body is contracting, and the peripheral zonules are relaxing. So the lens will attain a peculiar shape, a conoidal shape, like this. Centrally elongated and peripherally more curved. Okay, there are many pros and cons for these theories also. And this theory is called Schachar theory. Just remember these names. Practically, ciliary body is contracting, zonules are relaxing, lens is attaining more globular shape, and by this it is increasing in refractive index. Okay, and the main change is occurring at the anterior surface. These things you remember, and the name is also. One theory is Helmholtz, other theory is Schachar. Okay, so don't confuse. When the ciliary body is contracted, actually it's a round structure. So when it's contracting, the zonules actually getting relaxed. In the resting state, the zonules will be tight and lens will be pulled and elongated. When the ciliary body is contracting, the zonules are getting relaxed and the lens is attaining a spherical shape. So that is the change happening in accommodation. Okay. And for seeing the near with accommodation, we need the convergence act also. That is a part of accommodating reflex. Okay. So eye should be converged to see near. So there is a relationship between accommodation and convergence. Okay. Amount of accommodation is stimulated or relaxed is associated with convergence, and that is denoted by accommodative convergence by accommodation or AC by A ratio. This is very important when determining the anomalies with accommodation, or there is a peculiar feature called accommodative squint. Okay, accommodative squint. Then we will see anomalies of accommodation. Okay, one is presbyopia. What is presbyopia? It is actually the physiological decline of accommodation. Cycloplegia, that is paralysis of the ciliary body. We will get that with drugs like cycloplegic drugs and some neuritis from diphtheria, syphilis, diabetes and alcohol and that. And third nerve involvement, paralysis of accommodation, that can all cause to cycloplegia. And accommodative insufficiency, there won't be sufficient power for accommodation. Ill-sustained accommodation, there will be power but the accommodation won't be sustained. So if I look for the near for some time, I will get fatigue. That is ill-sustained accommodation. Or excessive accommodation, when the accommodative muscle are playing more, it will lead to excessive accommodation and there will be asthenopic symptoms. Okay. Sometimes there will be spasm of accommodation. The ciliary body muscle will be in a spastic condition. Okay, spasm of accommodation. We can treat it by giving cycloplegics. Okay, and as I told, there will be accommodative squint. Okay, and we will see something about presbyopia. Okay, that is physiological insufficiency of accommodation related to age. So, age-related decrease in amplitude of accommodation. So, amplitude will be less. In other words, the near point is increased. So, you will see the patients coming at 40 years or 45 years. I used to read like this. Now, the book should be kept longer. Okay, and it will, the near point will recede more. That is called presbyopia. Main cause is changes in the lens, decreased elasticity of the capsule, and increased size of the lens and hardness of the lens, and declination in the ciliary muscle tone. Okay, declined ciliary muscle tone. This will cause presbyopia. What will be the symptoms? Difficulty in near vision, asthenopic symptoms will be there. Treatment, surgical corrections are there, but usually they are treated by optical correction with glasses. And these glasses is convex lenses. Okay, and there are bifocal and progressive lenses. Bifocal lenses are like this. There are several types of bifocal. Bifocal is for distance and for near. Okay, and progressive lenses, this step will not be there. It will be like this. A single lens like this. The power will be progressively increased here. Okay, give more aesthetically good look, and also that stepping effect will not be there in progressive. And these are the corrections for presbyopia. Okay. So we learn accommodation, the effect of accommodation, the mechanisms of accommodation, and the anomalies of accommodation. Okay. So revise it and do it.
Docemy.